What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in these streets. I'm back in these work streets, and guess what? We got the game behind us. The last replay of the game behind us. You know, beat them Steelers. Feel good about that just because Steelers is my top 5 most hated teams. Not in no certain order. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Philly, Washington, Niners. I hate all those teams. So anytime we get to beat up on them, and I talked a whole bunch of trash to some people, and I won me some bread, so I ain't mad about that. So good job, Cowboys. You see it in the background. You see the replay playing in the background. Way to show a lot of resolve in this game. So let's jump into my quick thoughts. I know you heard it from 3,452,000 Cowboys content creators out there. But you ain't heard it from me. So let's jump into it. You see the game, like I said, in the background. Cowboys come out with a big come-from-behind victory. Shout out to Dak Prescott. He had an uneven game. Had 2 big picks. One right before halftime and one towards right around the fourth quarter. 2 kind of bad passes, but hey, you're getting paid like the franchise, right? And the franchise quarterbacks bring you back. Even when it's all bad, they still bring you back, and that's what happens. So let's talk about the offensive line right quick. Tyler Guyton went out with an injury, had his knee heavily braced, but you saw Tyler Smith kick out to that left tackle. Shout out to him. I said me and OC had battled for this on the same team, saying Tyler Smith should be your left tackle for the majority of his career, and you find a guard. But hey, Cowboys moved him inside. He's an all-world guard, but he's a damn good tackle too. And he kicked out when Guyton went out. And if you ask me, you never want to see an injury. But him kicking out the tackle and TJ Bass moving in the guard probably saved the Cowboys getting that victory, because if Guyton would have stayed out there, he probably would have got ate up and probably would have gave up a sack when it was at the most inopportune time. So shout out for Tyler Smith holding it down and Guyton get better. TJ Bass did a great job coming in, filling in for that left guard position. Zach Martin went out, Bass went there. So he is very versatile playing both guard spots. Also, I also got to give a shout out to Rico Dotto. I said 30-30 club. I talked about the 30-30 club about 2 years ago. Spoke about it again last year. You get 30 rushes, you get 30 passes, 30-30 club here from Big Game James. You know who started that first. 30-30 club. You get that, you got a very good chance of winning the game. You even heard Mike McCarthy say the 30-30 club. So I don't know if Mike McCarthy was listening to me when he said it, but I'm just saying, he said 30-30 club. So I said you get a 30-30 club, you have a high probability of winning the game. If I'm not mistaken, just not checking the stats, this is the most rushes Cowboys have had this season. And I said on the final word, if the Cowboys rush 35 times, they win the game. Okay? 35 times to win the game. I said you got to get back to that 30-30 club. Cowboys had 31 rushes, won the game. Also, I said Rico Dowdle. Shout out to him, because you know what? I don't know if I was out on Rico Dowdle, but you see the touchdown right there. Big clutch touchdown pass by Dak Prescott to Jalen Tolbert. Get to him in a second. But Rico Dowdle, I said last year, I was on the Rico Dowdle train. I said, hey, let go of Zeke. Dowdle got it. We don't need Zeke. Dowdle can do it. He got injured again. He didn't set himself apart. So this year I was like, you know what? I'm not on the Rico Dowdle train. Not saying I don't like him, but I'm just saying you had your time to prove last year and you're still injury prone. We can't trust you. So let's see what Dalvin Cook can do as well. But the thing with the running game is, as I said before, and I made a tweet about this, it's not like the Cowboys can't run. They just don't run, and they don't stay with the run. You'll have a couple good run plays, then they'll start passing 5-6 times in a row, and you could run on the Steelers team. You could see in the very beginning of the game, you could run on this defense if you stuck with it. And I'm glad they got hard-headed, because they kept going away from it. They let Dowdle run, then they go pass. No, stay with that run, because that's going to be Dak's best friend going down the rest of the season. So shout out to Ricky Dowdle. came in there, blew it up. I think he had over 20 carries for like 85 yards or so. Hard-earned running, averaged like 4.3 yards a carry. Had some big, tough runs, especially in that last drive. 2 big drives. The one right before when they scored the first time with Dowdle, with the pass, I think that was like a 16-play drive, 16-play, 90-play drive. And then the one to basically steal the game, that was like a 15-play drive. And it was a lot of big third downs that Dak and the offense converted. Jalen Tolbert was key in them drives, getting a couple third down passes, Jake Ferguson. But shout out to staying true with the running game. You stay with the run game, even if you're not running great, it keeps them honest. And if it keeps them honest, it lets your play action, it lets your passing, it lets those things be able to come to fruition. So, as I said, big game for the offense. I thought they dominated that Steelers defense. Obviously, T.J. Watt, they had a couple sacks in that game, but they stayed settled down. They settled down in that game. Dak Prescott played a hell of a game, threw 42 times, over 320 yards, I believe, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but came in when it was clutch. 4th down and goal. Jalen Tolbert right there gets the touchdown, as you see behind me. And he had got hurt on the missed third down pass and was actually going to come out the game. Tyler Smith made a funny. He was talking about he hurt his nuts, but he didn't want to come out the game. And that's huge how he didn't want to come out the game, and you still made the play, the game-winning touchdown score, go-ahead score. So we talking about the receivers. I just got to this is the Jalen Tolbert show. Oh, and also Kayvon Turpin, the little guy. Got to get a shout out to the little guy. I'm a little dude. I ain't no big dude. So, you know what I'm saying? When I see the little dude out there turning up, shout out to Kayvon Turpin. I heard Kavontae Turpin, I'm sorry. Heard a lot of people talking on here say, get Turpin involved, get Turpin involved. I'm cool with getting Turpin involved, but I want more deeper routes, more in the passing game, not the reverses and the little gadget plays. Get him involved in the passing game. And that's what the Cowboys finally did. And it opened up the offense, getting him involved. So shout out to Dak for moving the ball all around. But Jalen Tolbert, burgers and blitzes, we talked about this. I asked Mike, obviously with Brandon, I can't even be thinking about these receivers right now. Brandon Cooks being out with the knee injury the next 4 games. I said, can Jalen Tolbert, I asked Mike, can Jalen Tolbert be this guy? You know what I'm saying? We both thought he could, but we hadn't seen it. We both thought he could take the next step because he had played well. And I was saying, Mike, he played well. He's been playing well, though. I think he can have a good game. This might be his breakout game. Can he be the number 2? We both thought he could. He showed some signs, and he stepped up right here. 7 catches, I believe, 10 targets. I think like 70-something yards. Big touchdown, game-winning touchdown. Had a couple big catches on third downs. Came through. Keep going, Jalen, because this is what everybody's been waiting for in year 3, right? I personally like Jalen Tolbert coming out of the draft out of South Alabama. I actually went when he was coming out of South Alabama his final year or 2. Obviously, the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, and he was the highlight because it was South Alabama's actual school. So I had mocked him in a few drafts already. I had picked him numerous times. I liked him and thought, he was mad. You was bad, Pickens. You was mad. But I picked him a couple mock drafts, and I thought he could be the guy coming up, and I thought he could take a Michael Gallup spot. Obviously, it's been slow. I didn't give up on him, but I was like, maybe you're not the number 2. Maybe you show what you are. Maybe you're number 3 or number 4 as you see the games popping off. But shout out to Jalen Tolbert. Coming up big, and when they needed it most, somebody needed a number 2 to step up, and he was that number 2 last night. So give nothing but props. And like I said, everybody criticized Dak, but for me, Dak has continued to grow. He's continued to take the next step. He's continued to play at a really high level as a quarterback, for real. He really is. I mean, you just look at the game. The way he was playing. Let's see who we got right here. Ooh, that was that crazy. And then let's go to that Niners Cardinals. Yeah, let's go to that Niners Cardinals because, anyway, that Cardinals game was crazy. Niners got 3 losses. I think all NFC losses. So that's something big to keep your eye on too. But shout out to the offense. They came through in the clutch. My dog Mike White said you put up 21 points and you'll beat them. Dallas put up 20 and won. As far as the defense goes, hey, defense played a hell of a job. We talked about it on the final word. Rome actually mentioned this, how maybe it's a good thing sometimes the stars got to sit down, the DeMarcus Lawrences, the Michael Parsons got to sit down so they can sit back and see what's really going on. And maybe the defense will play better because they don't have all the distractions of those star players, because that they were being a distraction. And guess what? The team played together. Now it's like when you don't have stars on the team, you all kind of band together as one unit, because now you don't have to worry about all the outside noise that's going to be attached to the stars. Now you just play football, and I think that's what happened last night. They just played football last night. They just played defensive football. So shout out to Tyrus Wheat. Sanjay is always giving a shout out for that man the last couple of years, and he had a half a sack, and I thought he set the edge. I thought he played tough in the stretches. I thought Carl Lawson had some good pressures in that game. Also, we picked up the guy that we used to have, Carlos Watkins. He played well. I thought Mozzie had another pretty good game. I thought the whole front played well. They didn't really run the ball, and they kept Justin Fields under wrap. He wasn't just running all over us like I thought he would, because I thought he was going to be the threat. Never did I fear Justin Fields as a passer. Never. Much like Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson's on a higher level than obviously Justin Fields, but at no time was I ever scared of Justin Fields passing, and I think that's the reason why Dallas won this game as well, because Justin Fields can't pass you back in. He can't throw you back in. He can't win the game throwing the ball. I don't believe that. He is a dual threat, but he is more of a running passing quarterback, not a passing running quarterback. He's a running passing quarterback, and if you cut off that run lanes, he's done, and it showed. So that was the good thing about it, that the Steelers' offense was inept, because your quarterback play is not really got great quarterback play, and it masked a lot of things. So shout out to that defensive front. Demarion Overshown is going to be a star. I just feel that he's going to be a star. That number 27, I can't remember the name. I thought he played a well game. Safeties, I thought the defense as a collective whole played a good game. Kept the run game down. I think they only had like 225 yards. Justin Fields only threw for like 100-something. They didn't run the ball. They were not throwing the ball, and really kept Dallas in the game, getting them off the field when they needed it most, and getting the ball back for the Dallas Cowboys. So shout out to Mike Zimmer. I said on the final word and on Burgers and Blitzes, can we please get a game where the coaches are out coaching their opponents, right? Can we get a game where the coaches step their game up and really coach the hell out of this game and win the game by coaching? Players were fumbling the ball left and right. They were fumbling it as far as just making it easy for Dallas just to lose this game. They were just going to fumble it away. But shout out to Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer for calling a very good defensive game and putting a good game plan for the guys who were there. And shout out to Mike McCarthy for sticking with the run this time. 31 rushes. I think it's the most rush attempts they had all season. And you see what happens when you can run the ball, even if it's keeping it honest. It wasn't like Dallas was killing people in the run. I think they only averaged in 31 carries, only averaged 33.8 yards a carry. But they stayed with it. They kept the defense honest and allowed Dak Prescott to be able to throw the ball in those little spots and to be able to move the ball downfield because of the run game. So 30-30 club, I done told y'all that. Keep that up. Good win. Cowboys are 3-2. You got two big games. Like I said, the 3-game stretches will find out where you know about the Dallas Cowboys. So you got the Lions, I believe, at Detroit. That's going to be a huge game. That's going to be a big test, because it looks like the Lions are the class of the NFC right now. So that's a great gauge to see where the Cowboys are competing at. And then you got the Niners right after that. And I think this is the game where Cowboys can beat the Niners. I mean, the last few years, Cowboys could beat the Niners before then. But this is a time where kind of hit them where they're down. Niners are kind of down right now. They got injuries too. They're going through it. So this is the best time, in my opinion, to get the San Francisco 49ers and beat them. So we'll see what happens. But, hey, Cowboys are 3-2. Kudos to the boys. They did their job. They won in the last minute. Dak Prescott, good game all around. Obviously, there were bumps in the roads, turnovers, fumbles, things of that nature, but they showed resilience the last 2 weeks. They showed resilience against the Giants. They showed resilience against the Steelers. Do I think both of these teams, those last two teams they played, are like, ooh, playoff teams and teams are going to blow your socks off? No, because if you look at all three quarterbacks that the Cowboys played and beat, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, and Justin Fields, not going to inspire quarterback play, right? But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and that's all that matters in the NFL. So, talk to you soon. Best of enemies tonight. Definitely have a lot to talk about, especially with them Commanders winning again. Joe Castro with them Eagles. It'll be a good show getting ready to come up. We'll talk to you soon. Big Game James. I'm out. Peace.